I wanted to talk about my experiences with a job at In-N-Out Burger and some things that I learned with some social skills. I wanted to talk about how one time I did a move where I kind of put a finger like I wanted to have someone come towards me, and a lady told me that that was like talking to a dog, and she nicely told me that she didn't like that, and I never did that again, ever, and it's been about 9 years. I've never done that to anyone ever again, and I really appreciated how she had told me that, because that helped me a lot. You know, some customers can be really nice and really helpful, but don't assume that people are trying to be rude. You know, people with Aspergers, it's not always clear that we're doing something rude if we are. I hope people can give me some benefit of the doubt about that. You know, it's because I had an opposite experience with a customer where I didn't realize I was doing this, but I would given them their receipt and put it too close to his face, because I was just trying to they'd always train go fast, go fast, go fast, go fast, you know. You're never allowed to not do anything. If you weren't doing something, you're supposed to be cleaning, all that stuff. I didn't mean to do a bad thing. I didn't mean to do a rude thing. And this guy, wanted to talk to a manager. He wouldn't tell me what I did wrong when I asked. He wanted to get free food. It was a mess. And I had no idea what I did. It was such a frustrating experience. But, you know, I just wish that he could have explained to me what I did that he didn't like, because I was so confused. I had no idea. It was really confusing and frustrating for me. But those are a couple things I know to do better now. But I was 20 at the time. I'm 29 now. One other thing that became clear to me later that I didn't understand at the time, if it's possible, people need to just go to online school and make themselves as available as possible for their job. That's my advice to people. That's what I would do now that I wasn't doing that. I was unavailable with school. I had these other things going on, and I now know that it's so much easier for managers just to schedule people when they're an anytime employee. And I've had jobs since then where I've been anytime, and I always get stacked with hours. I always made monster paychecks compared to other people, and other people might be complaining about not getting hours, and I didn't have that problem at future jobs. But at the time, I was working 1 day a week because I had school and I had this other job, and I saw these other girls all the time that were saying, you know, can I get off early, can I get off early, can I get off early? And at In-N-Out Burger, it wasn't like a job where you always worked 8-hour shifts. They a lot of times would send people home 4 or 5 hours into their shift because they'd be overstaffed or they'd be slow or whatever. And I would ask to get off early too, and I didn't think anything of it because I saw all these girls doing it and they didn't seem to mind. You know, I didn't think anything of that. I didn't think I was doing a bad thing. But yeah, me being a man, maybe it was different for them, maybe, and also me working 1 day a week is certainly different for me a little bit, or a lot. Yeah, I didn't think I was doing a bad thing. They didn't seem to be mad at the girls doing it, but that cost me a job with a different In-N-Out Burger, because they contacted the reference and they said that I had other priorities than working there, and I was just crushed. I thought that was so sad, because I'd done a lot of good work before those managers had switched over, but they didn't know that, and they didn't know about that, and I messed up, and I didn't realize I did wrong, you know. I do wish that could have been worked out at the time, or they could have talked to me. That's another thing, you know. I was so sensitive at the time to feedback, and I've learned just to take the information and not have my feelings be part of things so much. And, you know, at least in other situations with blunt managers and things, at least they were able to try to work things out with me, even if it did make me feel bad sometimes. But, you know, with that situation, nothing was worked out, nothing was resolved, and he talked trash about me behind my back, which was sad and unfortunate. I wish that he had at least tried talking to me about it, but whatever. I was good at one thing. I really enjoyed talking to people. I really enjoyed talking to customers, though. I had a lot of fun talking to customers. Sometimes made them laugh and just had so much fun. And since I was a fast typist, outside of work, I caught on to the order taking really fast, too. That was way cool. And pretty soon I was getting compliments about being fast at that, even though it was hard at first. So there were things I was good at. I also think it's important that, you know, not to just assume that people are that I was gonna get promoted, you know, because I really enjoyed order taking, talking to customers. So it's like, why can't I just be happy with that? Why was I wanting to know why I couldn't, like, get raises and move to other positions? Because, you know, if I learned fries, I would have gotten a raise. If I had learned this thing, I would have gotten a raise. It's like, I look back on that and think, why wasn't I just happy with my position? I liked that position. I liked that way better than the other positions because I got to talk to people. But I don't know. I think things, at least at that company, are built in the way where we learn tasks and then we get raises. And, you know, and it's important not to think about fairness with things all the time, or what could be, or what could be more money, or what could be more new tasks, and just kind of just enjoy what we have if we can, because, you know, that's going to mean something, to just enjoy what we have and just have fun with it and be nice to customers and not think about, oh, I could have this better position. That was some things I learned that I try to apply. Just make each situation its own situation. You know, even if somebody made me feel bad, to just talk to the next person with a smile and just make each interaction a new one, instead of letting some rude customer, like, make my day bad or something. Just move on to the next thing, you know. It's over. But I got a lot better at that and less sensitive with time. That was hard at the time.